Boom! Shakalaka. Hey, world. This is Fractal Radio, I guess. It's another episode. It's going to be lagging the video and the audio because I still have yet to figure out how to make my my phone camera and this thing sync up via free software. Or any software, for that matter. But I'm going to stick to my guns here. Yeah. So, it's going to be a very vlog. Less topical than usual. I'm drinking Gimli, which is an affordable lager you can get at Lidl, which just opened up in my town, right next to the Aldi's. Another Euro trash store. But anyway, yeah, things are amiss in the world of the internet, aren't they? So, we've got Patreon banning Sargon of Akkad because he said, I have no problem saying the word, but I don't even feel like saying it because who cares? You know that word you're not supposed to say. It starts with an N and ends in an R. And he got banned for saying that, even though he didn't say it in a racist context. Basically, for those of you who don't know about internet drama, Sargon of Akkad is a very prominent political commentator on YouTube. He's even become somewhat involved in the British political scene through UKIP. And he was debating some... Oh, hey, dog. He was debating some alt-right type of folks, like white nationalists. And basically he said they're acting like a bunch of... And that's what Patreon took issue with, even though he wasn't doing it via Patreon when he made that comment. And there's no way to construe that comment as being racist on his part because he was basically using the logic of these white supremacist dudes against them. So it's pretty lame of Patreon, and it's caused a lot of people to leave the platform. There's been a ripple effect where a lot of people that aren't even vaguely connected to political commentary are getting affected by losing subscribers because people are just leaving Patreon and they're subscribed to multiple people. And honestly, you know, I never made a dime on Patreon because, I mean, I probably don't put out enough stuff on a consistent, you know, set of days. I've put out a lot, in my opinion, because I've written like several hundred pages for the Sketch of Sam Monroe, which is something you can read on my website, www.fractaljournal.com. It's a novel in progress that I publish in a serial format. But yeah, I mean, no hard feelings there, but I might just go ahead and shut it down. I was, like, at first I thought I heard Subscribestar was going to be an option, but then PayPal is going to get rid of it. And it's like, so I don't know. I like Patreon because it's kind of cutesy. And I really don't foresee myself having any problems on there, but I don't like their behavior. It's shady. And I felt it was worth mentioning because, you know, it would be a great thing if people could get support monetarily, could make money from bringing art forward. In an economy where things are more and more automated, the more options we have for income, the better. But when they become so wishy-washy, that makes it really difficult. And even though there's a lot of people talking about it, in case anybody that's paying attention to me for whatever reason, it's lame, and it's important to point out. So if you haven't heard, now you've heard. And there's a bunch of videos that go into a little bit more depth than I did here. But I believe I did a fairly decent job of giving a basic gist of it. Yeah. Fun. let's talk about simple pleasures. So, I work a physical job. Um, I move things, very heavy things, all day long, and I I really neglected to get new shoes for the longest time. I just used a pair of old work boots that my friend gave me for over a year because like most of my funds go to paying for stuff like gym membership, internet, phone, and food. I like to eat, and I like to eat good, healthy food because I feel that that's part of keeping myself sharp intellectually and physically. I mean, it is inarguably. But so I become really cheap about certain things like shoes, for instance, or clothes. Like I have a lot of really nice clothes, but what some people might not realize, sorry for all these caveats. Like I said, it's gonna be just a straight vlog. Is that like this came from a friend of mine who owns a German restaurant that I used to work at. He just gave me a bunch of clothes he no longer was wearing, and he's about the same like dimensions as me. So they fit really well. But I don't like. I hardly ever buy clothes. I spend most of my money on food and like little mini trips and stuff like that. So these shoes got really worn down, and I basically almost couldn't perform my job because my ankle was so wrecked. Because my company that I work for, and it's not Amazon, it's in peak season. The reason I say that is because when people think peak season, they're gonna think of stuff like Amazon, but it's not. We're in peak season right now, and so I'm working a lot longer hours. I'm working like 6.5 hours. Some people are like, "Oh my god, 6.5 hours." No, the where I work, 6.5 hours is a lot different than 6.5 hours anywhere else. Like anything more than 4 hours, it gets wonky at the pace that we have to go. Anyway, I mean, a lot of people can probably figure out what it is. For some reason, I have this weird thing where I want to talk about stuff that's in my experience, but I want to keep my private life. And I don't know, maybe this will resolve at some point. But yeah, like I said, very vloggy. You're probably getting annoyed. I'm going to keep going. So, simple pleasure was that I got these new shoes, and I got socks to go with them because my dog ate all my fucking socks. All of the socks that I've had are just all chewed up, and now I have these socks, and I got another pair of shoes for free from my buddy that he didn't need. Pretty much brand new. I just got this like, yeah, my shoes no longer have holes in them. Like when I walk across the parking lot, they're not filling up with water, and that was just really, really satisfying. And I think it's simple pleasures like that that just kind of recenter you, refocus you, because you can get so caught up in abstraction. And one of the reasons I didn't replace these, it's not like I couldn't afford to. It's that I just stayed really abstract and kept my spending habits the exact same. And I realized, wait a minute, I'm not prioritizing my spending right. So yeah, it brought me back to a grounding thing. Like, wait, this makes a significant difference in my life. Like I'm maiming myself because I'm too lazy / too hungry for delicious pizza to buy shoes. Yeah. Hopefully this is entertaining in a kind of awkward, rambly sort of way. That's what I'm going for here because like it's already Wednesday and I haven't produced any content because of the schedule that I'm working. And I know that probably nobody gives a shit, but I feel like trying. I really do. Gotta row. See, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go buy gas, so that I'm ready for tomorrow. And this, when I pair it with the damned audio that I'm recording, it's gonna take so damn long to render. So I might as well go around town and do crap. That's one of the reasons I set up Patreon, like in the first place. I just want to get better equipment. But now I'm not even sure about Patreon. So it might just be a really slow process of me saving up money or making a PayPal or whatever. And if people become interested enough or have enough faith in me, donate, whatever. See, the thing is, yeah, I don't feel that it's wrong for creators to ask for donations. This takes time and effort. Even this, like, I mean, the electricity that I'm using costs money. Putting these ideas together takes time, even though this is a really super lazy version of what I intend to do. Yeah, and this little ramble right here is just basically to get not necessarily like people to subscribe to people, but to get people who create stuff to stop giving it away entirely for free. Like, what you do is worth something. It really is. I mean, I don't mean to be cocky, but if I refined some of the stuff I did just a little bit more and kept sending it out to publishers, I'm pretty sure eventually I'd get published and make some money. Or I could just self-publish on Amazon, pitch it properly, attention whore on YouTube, and make some money. But I prefer like the feedback type of thing that I'm doing at the Fractal Journal, where I'm publishing basically a WordPress type deal. I don't know, there's something rewarding with that knowledge that there are eyeballs on almost immediately. And it's a new publishing dynamic that I think is already showing its potential, but even has a lot more potential as stuff goes along. Yeah. And always feel free to comment on anything that I say. Feel free to call me out on any mistakes that I make. I really, like, just based on my life history and the kind of line of work that I'm in and the kind of really weird socioeconomic bracket that I'm in, it's impossible to, like, hurt my feelings. It is possible to piss me off because I have pet peeves about certain things. I do get annoyed, but all that's going to happen is I might say something shitty, like, and then I'll get over it. Yeah. Fuck. You know, confidence is such a weird thing because with my writing, I am very aware that my grammar could use a little bit of refining, and my sentences could be a little bit tighter. So, you know, I've gone through a little bit of like community college, and then I really hate college. I hate the idea of what college has become. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go to college. But then I'm like, but if I went to college and I studied a little bit of English, that would help me feel secure. But then I remembered what it was. It was a bunch of formatting and AMA and basically professors injecting their politics into English courses of all things. Like, I don't know. So I opened up a book called whatever it is on style. It's Strunk White or something like that. Something really popular. And immediately all my questions were answered. So I'm like, yeah, it's just like in that movie, A Good Will Hunting. You could just open a book. And basically the thing that probably makes a lot of people not confident is laziness. Like, you don't throw your ideas out there to get the feedback. And then when you get the feedback, you don't use that feedback to refine who you are, even if it's your own feedback. Like when I look at my sentences and go like, these are run-ons and that's fucking like way too wordy. There's a way around that. You see that, you make that self-criticism, you open a book, you look it up. You don't have to go to an external source like a college to fucking give you the balls to do something. And I'm somebody that doesn't struggle with this as much as some of my friends do because, God, they're such institutionalists in a way. And they're great people, don't get me wrong, but like they just got this desire to feel like there's some metric that says they're the shit. Like, not like amazing, but like, yeah, you got your shit together. And but I still have that because it's also so culturally ingrained in us, for better or for worse. I think it's important to have feedback, but I don't think it needs to be so formulaic like that, if this isn't making any sense. Yeah, I'm at a 14-minute mark. I think I've given you some content to mull on, to munch on for a bit. Thanks so much for listening, and take care, everybody. Galro.